Hey, what's up, everybody? It's that guy, Skimpy, and this is Tackle Talk with Skimp, where I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of different bait makers, whether they pour jigs or pour plastics or make swim baits or airbrush or modify molds or even making molds. Anything that has to do with bait making and tackle, I want to talk about it. So let's go. Oh my God! Look at it. Dinko mold. This is the 5-inch one. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Question number one is, what is your name and where are you from?
My name's Hunter Suchland, and I'm from Kearney, Nebraska. It's definitely known for its big bass, and just no, it's all we got out here is corn, man. But yeah, Kearney, Nebraska.
All right. So question number two is, where can we find you? Like, what social media platforms you're on? Do you have a website?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram. We've got a TikTok. I don't use it as much as I probably should.
Okay.
And then we've got a YouTube channel that we post weekly too also. Just look up LS Lures. It should be the top search there.
Awesome. Question number three is, how long have you been fishing?
Oh, God. I think my story is a lot like anybody's. You know, you start with your dad or your grandpa and fishing with your buddies and stuff. And,
Yeah.
You know, I grew up, my dad was a big multi-species fisherman, you know, so if, like, you could eat it, that's what we were going to go after. So, you know, when the crappie were up shallow, we were crappie fishing. And summertime was kind of for bass fishing, but all he really knew how to throw was a spinnerbait and, you know, a fluke. And so that's pretty much all we did. And otherwise we just catfished. And
Right.
Growing up and getting some buddies that like to bass fish, that's pretty much all we did. And we started a high school bass fishing team, and
awesome.
we're just terrible, you know. Like that was just when it was kind of all starting to like blow up and stuff with the college high school fishing program. I'm 25 now, so that would have been about 2016 is when we got into that. So tried fishing in high school out of like a fishing ski boat, and that was what it was. And for whatever reason, was dumb enough to think that like this is all I want to do with my life.
Right.
And God, what it's turned into now. But
Yeah.
no, so I went to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln and joined their bass fishing team and basically said to myself, like, this is all I think about. This is all I want to do. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get good. So fished in college for 4 years, qualified for 6 national championships,
Awesome.
and had a pretty good college career, and jumped into a bunch of different local and regional tournaments and did pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I've been fishing pretty much as long as I can remember. It just kind of evolved from catfishing with chicken livers to flipping a jig and doing all the stuff, you know?
Yep. All right. Question number four is, would you rather fish for smallmouth or largemouth bass? And a bonus question is, what's your PB?
Definitely largemouth. I like catching smallmouth. I know a lot of people are going to make fun of me for saying that because smallmouth are awesome.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've got a better understanding of largemouth, and all the smallmouth we have around us here act like largemouth. Like we don't have cool smallmouth lakes. So like if you're going to catch a smallmouth, you're going to catch it basically fishing like you do for largemouth. So nice. Definitely largemouth. I like smallmouth. I just feel like I'm way better at catching greenheads. And then my PB's 8 1/4. I caught it out of Chickamauga in Tennessee.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a cool one.
All right. Question number 5. What got you started making your own baits?
Yeah. I started in high school too, when I was on my big kick of I want to be a professional fisherman, you know, and
okay.
I was like, if you want to be a pro, you got to make your own baits. And so started then, dabbled with it a little bit, and then kind of got out of it because they weren't good. I did a terrible job. And then went to college, and my junior year took a class where basically they give you $50 and say, start a business. And so me and one of my best friends at the time said, well, I had the molds at that point in time to do it. So we spent $50 on hooks and skirt material and started hand tying jigs, and it kind of took off. Like we started selling them to our buddies, you know, for dirt cheap, and then we would make 10 jigs and sell 10 and take the money from that and buy more materials, and it kind of just nickel and dimed its way to whatever it is now, I guess. But like that next spring, we won the university's biggest kind of Shark Tank style pitch contest, and they gave us $25,000 to basically invest in the company. So we bought a bunch of materials and all the stuff that we needed. And I wish it would have happened a little bit later. We didn't know anybody at the time to kind of help us know what we needed to know. At that point in time, we didn't know anything, you know. So
Right.
we bought a bunch of dumb stuff with it, but we sure learned a bunch. And then I ended up buying him out and run it full time by myself now. And we've sold to, I don't know, 40 plus states this year and are getting into retailers and stuff. So it's been 5 years now. I think we started in the fall of 2020. So it's been a little bit, but we're still kicking.
And that is awesome. 25,000? Jeez.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was way too much money for a 21-year-old.
Right.
I'll tell you that. That was a really bad idea.
All right. Question number 6 is, what is your favorite bait to make? And kind of a bonus question, what is your favorite color to make? And it doesn't have to be the same bait. Just what's your favorite bait to make and what's your favorite color?
I really like making our flipping jigs, just because that's what I use the most. Like, I'm the guy who likes fishing in the dirt if I can get away with it all the time.
Yep.
And I like, if I can catch them on a 7.6 heavy and 20 plus pound fluorocarbon, like, count me in, right? That's where I'm going to be.
I'm with you.
I like making our flipping jigs. That's just what I throw the most. Mm-hmm. And then my favorite color is our color Pimp Gill, which let me bust one out here. It's a nasty little bluegill imitation.
Okay.
It's terrible right now, but it is a. Put my camera around here. Maybe.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a real good bluegill imitator that has just a little bit of everything in it there. Blues, purples, chartreuse, your green, all the good stuff and things. It works real good around here. You know, I feel like everybody and their grandma says that, you know, if you're gonna flip clear water, you got to throw green pumpkin, and if it's dirty water, you got to throw black and blue. And it seems like it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but there's a time and place, you know, that the fish get really keyed in on specific things like bluegill. And if my jig looks exactly like a bluegill and everyone else is throwing green pumpkin, like, I'm just going to catch more fish. And if 15 boats go down a bank and everyone's throwing green pumpkin in gin clear water doesn't look supernatural, right?
Correct.
Like, compared to everything else, like, it's just a green pumpkin blob. You can call it whatever you want.
Right.
But like, if I throw a jig that looks better and more realistic, like, I'm just going to get more bites. So that color works really good around here. We've cashed checks all over with it. It seems like it does pretty good.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, that is one of my favorite jig heads right there.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it's dangerous.
You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that. All right. On the opposite side, what bait or colors do you hate to make?
Yeah, we make this isn't even for bass fishing. It's more of a local specialty.
Okay.
But they call them slabbing jigs. And in Nebraska, it's a really big deal to catch white bass.
Okay.
Which apparently every other state in the country, those are like super frowned upon. Like, nobody likes catching them. But if you live in Nebraska, you fish for white bass.
Okay.
And we make this rig. It's a slab of lead with a treble hook on it, and you paint it white or chartreuse, and then you tie a loop knot above it, and on the tag end of that loop knot, you put a doll fly. And basically what it does is, when they school, or if you find a group of them,
okay,
you just whip that out there and you burn it through them as quick as possible. And you double up almost every time, because white bass are dumb and they eat whatever. So like, we probably sell, I don't even know how many hundreds of those every fall here when they school. Like, we just dish them out, and they're fine. Like, they're not hard to make, and I don't hate them, but like, I don't fish them. I like bass fishing. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm a lot more passionate about tying jigs that I know, like, oh yeah, somebody's going to go out and maybe catch a PB on this, instead of it's a hunk of lead with a doll fly, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's fine. That would probably be my least favorite, but we sell a ton of them.
All right. Question number 8 is, what is some good advice for somebody just getting into making their own baits?
just find your niche, you know, like whatever that may be. Like we kind of specialize on the we're going to make really good baits and educate people on how to use them, you know, like that's what our YouTube channel is for.
Yeah.
It's not, we try and stay away from the really gimmicky information. Like anybody can make a video that, yeah, in clean water, you know, you throw a green pumpkin jig, and when it's dirty, you throw black and blue. But we want to, like, there's nuance with everything, and especially with fishing a jig. Like there are so many little tiny details that go into being very successful with it.
Yep.
And so that's what we're trying to teach people is, in order to be really confident with anything, you need to know those smaller details, to where if the conditions change and stuff, like that's I feel like our niche is selling really good stuff and teaching people all the little tricks to being super effective with it. So for the guys who are just starting, whatever that may be, find something that you're passionate about, whether it's going super high end or find it making crazy colors or whatever it may be. Like just do something that makes you you, because at the end of the day, like if I'm trying to be any other company, I will never be as good at being them as they are, you know? So like I feel like the best way to separate yourself is to just do what you like and do it as good as you can. And at the end of the day, like nobody's going to beat you doing what you do best, you know? So whatever that is, you know, there's plenty of baits out there. The fishing world is crazy and it's weird, and you can make pretty much whatever you want. And as long as you give people a reason to buy it and it's good, like you're going to do really cool things.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Question number 9, is there anything special that you've been working on, and can we see some baits? I know you already showed me one, but I want to see some more.
Yep. As far as special stuff, we've got a lot of things in the works right now. So we're upgrading shops. Right now we're in the old garage setup, which is just it looks like a hurricane hit it. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But we're working out of that, but we're upgrading shops here at the end of the month, moving from garage shop to big 800 square foot shops. So that'll be nice to get a lot more room and be able to do some more stuff there.
Yeah.
And then with that, we just got a spin casting machine and are redesigning everything. So right now, basically everything we're doing is do it, which is great. It works awesome. Nothing's wrong with their heads. I see your big poster behind you. They're amazing. We've used them for 5 years and they work, and I love them. But we're getting a new spin casting machine and are working right now to basically kind of redesign everything to further separate ourselves. So probably going to prototype everything this fall. I just want to make sure I'm like stupid meticulous about making sure things are like, I just don't want to release anything bad. So coming up with that, we'll have probably 2 different types of flipping heads, maybe 3. Seems like a lot of guys are very particular about, you know, arky head versus brush head versus whatever else you like flipping, you know. So we'll probably have a couple different options. I know around here, like with that flipping jig I just showed you, a lot of brands and companies run a really big hook on their flipping jigs, and that's great. It's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. Ours right now, we run a 3/0. You probably can't see that.
Yeah, I can see.
And all of our quarters and 3/8 and bump up to a 4/0 and our halfers, but it just seems like that's another one of those like niche things where in the Midwest, I don't get a ton of bites generally, and it seems like those fish get pretty beat up to a jig. So sometimes having a smaller hook that's higher quality can get you more bites. I don't have to throw a giant trailer on the back, you know. So we'll have a couple different sizes and styles of flipping jigs, 2 different kinds of swim jigs. We got a couple cool little finessey things that are coming out I can't really talk about quite yet, because you just saw it happen at ICAST. One person brings out a dice bait, next thing you know 50 people have dice baits. So we'll release that in time. We're gonna keep that pretty hush hush, but a lot of things in the works right now there.
Another thing,
and then you want to see a couple baits too?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say another thing that people are particular on is, do they want the hook eye going this way or do they want the hook eye going this way? And I don't know if I have a preference, because you know I use both and I love both, and I don't know if I care, to be honest.
And so I feel like I'm a very I overcomplicate certain things that I probably shouldn't, and there's certain things that I'm like, it has to be, well, it doesn't matter, this has to be this way. So I completely get that, and that's one of those things where my personal opinion, I use the vertical jig eyes most of the time. I don't have a ton of issues with them. You know, if it's really that important, I guess I'll just miss out. But like we get it. So one of our flipping jigs is going to have the horizontal eye. Everything we've got right now is vertical. So we'll switch just to make a couple folks happy and give that option if they want it.
Right.
And it seems like that's one of the things too in the fishing world is everyone's so particular about things that like you don't give them it, like you're just not going to have them as a customer if you don't offer something for them, you know. So it seems like the more you can kind of diversify definitely helps a lot. Like I had a gentleman call me the other day and he called me to tell me that he didn't like he didn't like my flipping heads, and I was like, well, I don't know what you want me to say about that, man. So we're just I was like, I don't know if you called to argue or what you want, but I like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, well, just explain to me why you did it that way. And I said, well, because I like it, you know. So
Right.
that's just that's the way of the world. So if we can expand that a little bit, you know, it's just get something for everybody. That'll help big time.
Right. And I know you mentioned do-it-molds, and the thing about it is yes, it's awesome to have it. Everybody can make it, but that's the other problem. Everybody can make the same jig. And I actually know a couple people who mod the mold. So instead of the hook eye going this way, they mod it so the hook goes the other way, or vice versa, just to make it different from everybody else's. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and every tiny detail you have that's different just gives you an added selling point.
Exactly.
So that way, if you know, I hear it all the time, you know, and it's again, there's nothing wrong with do-it-molds, they're great, but it's, you know, you're just looking for anything to separate yourself from another company to where if somebody asks, you can say, oh yeah, well ours has this and theirs doesn't, you know, and then it just kind of pegs you up on that. As long as you make good stuff, you know, that's a really easy way to kind of get ahead of some of those other companies, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I only have, I have one more. Oh, actually, you know what? Are you going to show me some baits? Sorry, I cut you off earlier.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Show me a couple of them jigs.
Yeah, so let me pop a couple out here. I'll show you. We just showed the flipping jig already, which that's that do it. Let me move some stuff. I got crap everywhere. I was gone all weekend. We're trying to play catch up today, and I have destroyed the place. So let me get a couple things moved around here, and we'll show you what we've got going on. I'll just show you our flipping jig,
okay,
our swim jig, and then our best-selling finesse jigs. We just dropped a new one that's been going like crazy. We call it the little wizard jig. Was the original. We just came out with the big wizard jig, but they're a really derpy looking kind of hybrid finesse jig. You know, most finesse jigs have that really big lion's mane cone on the front.
Yeah,
which is great. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I don't have any issues with it. It's just that in the quest to be different and be a little bit unique, I love chopping on my skirts, which really hurts sometimes because we hand tie everything.
Yep.
And so, you know, you hand tie, you make it look all pretty, and then you take a pair of scissors and you just mangle the hell out of it, right? But it seems like it just gets more bites in general the more you chop on it. It's no different than a crankbait or a topwater, you know, like they start knocking off all their paint, they get that hook rash for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if fish just bite them better, but it seems like you always get bit more. So we made a couple finesse jigs that I'll show you here real quick that we kind of just went with that. They have like a quarter of the skirt material most jigs have, and they've got two different lengths of skirt material going on here. But we made one. The first one's got a 2-aught hook on it.
Okay.
And the second one's got a 4-aught. The 2-aught was originally meant as like a smallmouth jig there. So again, I don't know how well you can see that. My camera's probably all messed up here, but can you see that all right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Is my camera quality just terrible right now?
It's okay, I can see it.
Okay, yeah, so it's just a real goofy looking little finesse jig there, but it gets bit a ton. So that's the little wizard jig there with that 2-aught hook. The big wizard just has that 4-aught in it. So same skirt material, same everything there, same design, same brush guard. It's just got a 4-aught hook. Basically, the reason we kind of went with that was for those northern largemouth fishermen where you get in that really gin clear water. A lot of guys don't want to deal with A smaller hook, they're limited to a really small trailer. So you get in that real clean water. Even the guys down south, you can run a full-size Rage Craw on the back of that or whatever your trailer choice is there and still have a hook plenty far back to have that good hookup ratio. So we sell a ton of those. That's been really awesome. And then this is our gaff swim jig. And we run a really big EWG style hook on the back there. So that way that gap in between the eye of our hook and the actual point there is really large. So the hookup ratio on this is crazy. We hand tie them all, but it seemed we call it the gaff because just with the bend on that hook there, when you stick them, you freaking stick them. They do not come off.
That looks like an awesome.
No, that's a couple of them.
I was gonna say that one looks awesome.
Gnarly.
It almost looked like you had some flash on there. It's probably just like some iridescent.
The whole thing's chrome.
Chrome, okay,
the whole thing's chrome. So, the whole thinking behind that was down south, everyone's like, you get on any kind of herring lake or any kind of top water oriented lake where that's a big deal. The color is chrome. Like everyone talks about chrome, and it's even that way up here, like the alewife spawn. And if you throw anything that has a ton of flash to it, it seems like that's the rave. Everyone's got to throw chrome, right? But nobody makes a swim jig that is like that obnoxiously bright. So
right, it looks awesome.
We call it Chrome Dome, and it stands out. It gets a ton of bites, so we sold a ton of those. But yeah, everything is hand tied. We epoxy all the brush guards so they're not coming out. Like we use BKK hooks and everything. Like everything's kind of been roided out as much as possible, just because, like I said, like I tournament fish and I like fun fish too, and like I was sick and tired of getting stuff off the shelf that, you have a good jig day and you buy some crappy ones off the shelf that A, have bad hooks, B, they've got a band on them. I forgot it in the sun and it melted. Like I bought one the other day to make a video, just took it off the rack, brought it home, and I was going to make some kind of like difference video. And I grabbed the brush guard and it didn't get glued in.
Oh, gosh.
It was just placed in there. I pulled it straight out and was like, oh, so it's, our biggest thing, I think, is just taking that extra step and that little bit of extra time to make something that I could go out and realistically catch 30 plus fish on.
Yeah.
And not like, I don't think people should come up with the excuse for any kind of bait to be like, oh, well, I caught 5 or 6 off of it and that's what I get. Or, oh, I bumped it against a rock and the hook rolled over. Like,
no,
there's no reason, whether you're fun fishing or not, to go out and have to worry about that. If you're going to spend $4 on one, that the life expectancy is maybe 10 fish, why not spend an extra 2 and be guaranteed, so long as you don't bomb it into a tree or break it off,
right?
Like, be guaranteed another 20, 30, 50 fish, like we've done some tests with some of ours where you catch over 50 fish in a day on them and they still have the skirt on them, the brush guard's still fine. Like it takes 10 seconds of extra time and a little bit of effort and you can make something that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, now I have, I know I cut you off earlier, but I only have one more question for you. And it's question number 10 is, if you could fish with anybody dead or alive, who would it be?
That's a good one. Probably like a Greg Hackney or a Seth Fighter.
Okay.
Some of those guys that are really good at swimming a jig and beating the bank and just catching big ones, probably just for the fun side of things, of learning those really like nuancy things. Like Seth Fighter had a podcast the other day where he was talking about how Hackney doesn't move when he's fishing. Like if he's fishing shallow, he's not stepping anywhere. Like the only thing that moves is the waist up. So I think fishing with a guy like that's been around that long, just to find all those like,
you'll learn a lot,
little fine details, that guys don't talk about. So I think that would be really cool is like a Greg Hackney, just to sit there and watch him, pick his brain. Yep. What about you? Who's your guy?
You know what, man?
We're gonna flip the script.
Well, now, okay. So now you put me on the spot. I mean, if we're just going, are we talking about fishing? Or are we talking about just bass fishing? What are we talking about? Because if it was fishing,
whatever, man.
If it was just going out fishing, it would be, either my Uncle Bobby or my grandpa, both passed away, but they're kind of the ones who, I don't know, man, really got me into fishing and stuff. But They weren't bass
Mhm.
guys, and I know you mentioned earlier that, you know, you catch it to eat it. They were whatever they catch, they're
Yep.
gonna eat type. So it
Absolutely.
would probably be my Uncle Bobby or my grandpa, and it would either be
Yeah.
it'd probably be like steelhead fishing or even crawfishing, sturgeon fishing, something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
Yep.
So you caught me off guard, man, because no one's asked me.
No, man. No, that's awesome. Yep.
So that's all the questions I have for you. Do you have anything you want to add, or do you have any shout outs or anything?
Nah, man. Biggest thing is just look us up, check us out, find us on Instagram and YouTube, or look up our website. It's the first option on Google there, and it's just me making them. Everything's hand tied, hand poured, all the good stuff and things. But we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I think that's all I got.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I do appreciate you coming on here. Everybody watching, I appreciate you guys watching, and that's the show.
I appreciate
Cut.
you, man.
Yeah. Oh my God! Look at Bingo mode. This is the fire.